My name is Jorge Reyes. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Psychology at Westfield State University. What I love most about teaching at Westfield State is really my interactions with the students. I have a great time when the students participate, having good discussions in class. A lot of students want practical experience in the field of behavior analysis, which is my specialty. So I will oftentimes set them up in an internship at locations that do this kind of work. So for example, a lot of my students have worked at a place called the May Institute. It focuses on working with students with autism and other developmental disabilities. Right now, actually, we're doing an interesting project working with the Dakin Animal Shelter in Springfield, where we're actually trying to train their somewhat problematic cats and make them more adoptable. One of the areas I'm most passionate about in terms of my teaching is really student success. I'm very concerned with whether or not the students are actually learning the material. I kind of teach the material into smaller units, and I do a lot more frequent kind of quizzing or testing along the way just to make sure that they're actually getting the material. I'm always encourage students to come by my office. I'm happy to meet with them as often as they like, to go over the material whenever they would like to. I encourage them to ask questions in class. I really try to make myself available at all times. It's been really interesting to see students, how they progress throughout their 4 years here. I've had some students who, I've had as a first year student, and then I see them again maybe sometimes 4 years later. They show up in one of our more advanced classes, and it's just amazing to see the transformation, how much they've matured. Then many of them have actually transitioned and applied to the graduate program in behavior analysis. And so I've gotten to see them from undergrads to graduate students, and now some of them are now professionals in the field. And to be quite honest, it's just much more like working with colleagues now than even former students. I like to do a lot of camping and hiking. I enjoy cooking, so I like to try out new recipes. I try to make my own recipes, and most of the time I'm just hanging out with my kids, playing Star Wars or having a tea party.